What's up, YouTube? KS Gun Guy here. Thanks for joining me today as always. So I'm sure we're all familiar with the adage, you get what you pay for. Well, that oftentimes is the case even in the gun world as well. However, sometimes there are options that are budget friendly but still fantastic quality. Now, I've been doing a series of product reviews over the last, month or two, and they've been generally geared towards concealed carry, home defense, and just going to the range and having a really good time. One of the aftermarket parts that I focus on a fair amount is sights. I like really good quality sights, and as you know, there are sights that run the gamut in terms of price and quality as well. Well, I decided to change my sights on this M&P Shield 2.0 right here. Now, don't get me wrong, the sights out of the box on the Shield are actually quite good. They're steel, they're 3-dot white setup, and they look quite nice. However, if this is a carry gun for me, I wanted to up the game, so to speak, just a little bit and go with a night sight option. And I generally flock towards one or two manufacturers typically, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I actually reached out to a company called Ameriglo. You're probably familiar with them, and said, hey, I've got a 2.0 Shield and I really would like to get some sights for this and try something out. And I said, surprise me, send me something a little bit different. And so Ameriglo was nice enough to do that. And of course, the Shield is unloaded as expected. I do have an unloaded magazine in here as usual. Now, Ameriglo was nice enough to send out a set of their sights, and they sent a set of their Pro IDOT setup. And I'll go ahead and give you a look. I'm sure we'll do this several times throughout the video. Now, if you're familiar with the Pro IDOTs, a couple of things going on here. One of the most outstanding features for these particular sights are the fact that these are they're like a straight 8 setup. In other words, you've got a tritium vial or tritium dot on the rear sight right here. Give you a good look at that, see if that'll focus in. So you've got the 1 dot right there. But then on the front, you've got your 1 dot there as well. Hopefully that'll focus in just a little bit. So you've got just 2 dots to focus on rather than 3. And I will tell you, I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't like this very much, mainly because I am used to a 3-dot setup or a 1-dot setup with just a black rears. And so having that extra dot, I thought might be a little bit confusing. And I know that sounds a little bit strange, but when you're used to shooting with certain types of sights for a long period of time, your eyes just get adjusted to them. But I really wanted to give these a try, and I know Ameriglo to be very good quality, and so I did. I decided to go ahead and run with these, and I have to say, these have been absolutely fantastic, not only from a shooting perspective and being able to really easily pick up that high-definition front sight, which is what these are really designed for, but it actually is quite easy to line up those 2 dots and really just kind of get going. And it's nice because these are a really good quality setup. I mean, they're steel, of course. They've got a ledge for your one-handed manipulations, as you would expect. And then they also are a little bit slanted on the rear. And although they are not serrated, again, I'll bring that up right there. They aren't serrated, but because they are slanted a little bit, they don't have any sort of a glare. I will tell you, there's a lot of light in this room, and you'll notice that there's no glare coming off those rear sights. So they are absolutely doing their job for sure. So I was just very impressed to try something a little bit different, especially with this 2-dot setup. It's almost a combat style sight, and they've done very well. And the quality and the fit and finish so far has been absolutely fantastic. And one of the really nice things, you can find these sights for under $80. So you're getting good quality steel sights with tritium inserts front and rear for under $100 and even under $80. I mean, that's really a very good deal. A couple of other really nice things about these sights. Some of the competition tend to be a little bit rough around the edges, a little bit sharp, and they can kind of scratch you and even cut you a little bit, especially if you're carrying. Ameriglo's done a really good job of making sure that these edges are not rough. They're actually they're kind of milled down just a little bit, and they are softer edges. So they've taken away that little bit of a pain, if you will, with some of the other sights. And again, offering them at such a reasonable cost is very good. And they offer these sights. I think I just kicked my camera. They offer these sights for a wide variety of different firearms there, which is great as well. And now for this high definition front sight right here, again, I'll give you a good look at that. One thing it does not do, it does not gather light and glow for a period of time. And there are some other manufacturers that have the high definition sights that do that. That's pretty cool, especially at the range. However, from a concealed carry standpoint, it's a moot point because your gun's going to be in a holster, and if you're wondering, this is a Vetter holster, and I know the color looks a little bit ridiculous on this in this particular light setup. It's actually very green and kind of a zombie green. I kind of like that, and I like my Vetter holsters. But again, your gun is in the holster. It's not going to be gathering any light, so this is not going to have an opportunity to glow anyways. So it doesn't really matter as long as it is bright and it's easy to pick up for fast acquisition, because this is basically an up close and personal type of firearm, concealed carry, of course. It's going to do its job for sure. So once again, Ameriglo Pro eye dots. I've been very impressed. Very good quality, excellent price for sure. So that old adage, you get what you pay for, it isn't always necessarily true, and sometimes it is, of course. But if you want to find some more budget-friendly options that are still good quality, they are absolutely out there. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about these. If you've got some experience with Ameriglos of any sort or another, or what other manufacturers you guys have experiences with, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'm always interested in reading those. Thanks so much again for joining me today, and I will see you next time.